Two full-frame Sony Alpha cameras will be definitely on market in 2025. One is the Sony A7 that will be on market the first quarter of 2025. So it means between January and March it will be available for pre-order or even shipping, and that is something trusted sources told me. The announcement date I still don't know. Usually Sony does the announcement 2-3 months before it is on market, so we have to see when the Sony A7 will be announced. But today we are going to talk about the Sony A1II. There are two reasons. First of all, also that camera should come relatively soon on market in 2025. On market means that it will be available for pre-order and then shipping. Announcement again 2-3 months ahead of this. And today I want to share a rumor I got from a news source. So news source means that we don't know if it's right or wrong, but there is a kind of feeling, I have the guess that he could be right, and he shared some tiny bit of details about the Sony A1II that I want to discuss with you to get your reaction and see if you would actually love to have those kind of specs. And maybe after this video also trusted sources will come back to me, send me an email here or use the contact box and tell me if I'm on the right path here or not. But before I share the Sony A1II rumor, another teaser, I'm 100% certain something big will be announced by Sony by end of 2024, so October, November timeframe. So pretty soon, two trusted sources confirmed something big is on the horizon. They didn't share the exact details, but when they tell me something big is coming, then something big is always coming. And so I'm working on this rumor, and as soon as I can share the details about that new exciting big product, I will make a new video. So definitely, again, if you haven't done it so far, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to not miss any of the upcoming rumors. So now the sun came out, but just expect the sun to keep coming and going. It's very cloudy, so the image will change, but I will keep talking about the Sony A1II because it's very important. So the following info is coming from that news source. I hope he will provide me some proof in time and more info, but keep in mind that I'm not 100% certain about what he's saying. But basically what he's saying that the next camera to be announced is not the A7 which is definitely coming the first quarter of 2025, but right before that camera Sony plans to announce the A1II. He said the camera could be announced between November and January. If I recall it right, the Sony A1, the original camera, was announced in the month of January 2020, so there's a chance that this could be right. And he also shared some more tidbits about this camera. First of all, he said that the camera will use the same 50 megapixel sensor from the Sony A1, which might disappoint some of you because it's always nice to see something new when the new flagship camera gets announced. But to be honest, I was expecting this because the 50 megapixel sensor from Sony is really great. It has no real limitation in terms of photography. I don't know if having 60 megapixel would really make a difference. And also I wasn't expecting Sony to implement global shutter on the A1II anyway, because global shutter has a small penalty, very small one in image quality, but the whole goal of the flagship camera is to have the best image quality with the best speed possible, and this you couldn't achieve with global shutter. It makes more sense for the A9 III to have global shutter, where the benefits of global shutter outweigh that small 1/3 of a stop dynamic range penalty that you get with the new tech. So having the classic 50 megapixel sensor for the Sony A1II makes a lot of sense to me, and even if the source is not legit and just making up stuff, I still would bet on the Sony A1II having the same Sony A1 sensor. The one change that I definitely expect is that the new circuitry around the 50 megapixel sensor will allow for faster readout and faster speed. So that's my bet. And that's what also this source believes is going to happen. The source also said it will have the new AI chip, which is expected. This is no surprise. I'm sure it will probably also support the C2PA for the authentication of your images. And the next info he shared is a bit more surprising and unexpected. He said the Sony A1II will also have the same Sony A1 body, so it will not take over the new Sony A9III body, but keep the Sony A1 body style because of compatibility with all the accessories, cages and so forth. That's what he said, and that's a bit of disappointing news because I think the Sony A9III body is actually the best alpha body design we have to date. The grip, the buttons and so forth are really great. Maybe the Sony A1II will have better tactile feeling when it comes to the button, but keep the form factor of the Sony one. Still, I would have loved to have the A9III grip body design on the A1II, so this would be slightly disappointing news for me, but let me know what you think, if you think that's a deal breaker or not. But that's what the source believes, if he's legit, that the Sony A1II will be. He also said that the Sony A1 prototype is already being tested in the wild, so if you happen to stumble upon some secret alpha photographers testing this camera and you take an image of him with the camera, just share it using the contact box here or the email address. It's anonymous. I protect my sources, use a nickname, and let me know if, first of all, the rumor you think, you know if it's true or not, that the same Sony A1II is coming between November and January. Something I forgot to tell you, I definitely think the biggest upgrade will be on speed, so probably instead of having 30 frames per second, could have up to 60 frames per second, something like this. Autofocus speed will be, again, be the world's best. Of course, the AI chip, something very important. I definitely expect the A1II that it supports the new 4.0 CF Express Type A standard, which means that you have double the writing and read speed. That's all I got about the Sony A1II. Maybe it sounds a bit like a letdown if this rumor is going to be true, but honestly, knowing Sony, this is also something I expect. We saw, for example, on the Sony A7R5 that I'm using right now to record this video, that it only had small improvements over the Sony A7R4 in terms of it uses the same sensor, but it just improves on those areas where the Sony A7R4 was still not perfect, and I think the Sony A1II could possibly do that with the Sony A1, which means keep the same sensor but just have better speed, better autofocus, AI chip, support a new standard, better in everything except of that nice A9II body I would have loved to see on the A1II. But let's see, maybe that source is completely off, and maybe tomorrow a trusted source will really give me finally the info about the Sony A1II that we are all expecting. This year was a strange year because of the many postponements of products. But 2025, already from the start of 2025, if nothing else bad happens like a World War III or any other unexpected stuff, then Sony A7V and the Sony A1II are definitely coming, and we can finally talk about new cameras, because this year was quite slow with the only camera being announced, the ZV-E10II, which really I don't care about. I know the mass market cares about, like all those vloggers, creators and youngsters, they really like that camera, and it's good that Sony makes it, but I'm more of a pure photographer. I would love to get some new photography camera to talk about, even if I don't buy it at the end. I'm happy with the A7R5, but yeah, this was kind of a slow year, so 2025 should be definitely better. Hopefully even end of 2024, so in 1 month from now, we might get something totally exciting, where it's really worth to follow sonofrumors.com and also this channel. And you can bet definitely on me being the first sharing reliable info about that new announcement very soon. Definitely. So again, subscribe, hit the notification button, and see you soon.